Welcome to Sips with Scrubs, a nurse podcast where we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly as it relates to nursing. I'm your host, Nurse Laney, and today we are joined with Elyse.
Hey, hey!
If you guys have watched my YouTube channel before, she has been on before. We did therapeutic communication last time, and I don't know, they like that one. Now we got more views than the other ones. I don't know what they like, but they like that one. So we eating sushi again, because if y'all watched that, we was eating sushi then too.
Facts.
So we're back again eating sushi, and today we're going to be sipping on this Pinot Grigio. It's called Tesserola della Regina. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I think that's how you say it. But anyway, it's a Pinot Grigio. It's my first time trying it, but I know I like Pinot Grigio, so we'll see how it tastes. But most Pinot Grigios are described as bright flavors of green apple, citrus. So that's what they said this tastes like. So we'll see if we actually like it or not. The alcohol content is 12.5, so that's good for us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's good for us. So we're going to be sipping and eating the sushi throughout this episode. So y'all pour you up a glass of wine, or if you at work, water, coffee, tea, whatever. And I'm going to let Elyse introduce herself for those who are not familiar, who's their first time tuning in.
Well, hey, I am Elyse. I am currently a cardiac IMU nurse. Previously, I've done oncology, I've done a little bit of med surg, and before I became an RN, I was an LVN. So I did a little bit of everything as an LVN and then grandfathered up. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, so Elyse and I actually met in nursing school before she became an LVN. So that's how we connected initially. So I'm excited to have her on because she has like different experiences from me as it relates to nursing. So today we're primarily going to do like an episode of giving advice. All of the stuff that's on here I got from this Facebook group we're in, and then if you guys want advice, y'all can DM me at Sips with Scrubs and we can do that. But first, before we get into our topic, tell me about a time you had to check pharmacy.
Oh Lord. Which time, honestly?
That was, I thought I had a couple of times where me and pharmacy beefing.
I'm always beefing with pharmacy. What do you mean? They always late, they always wrong, they always, when in a critical situation, they know where to be found. So, I mean, luckily on my new unit, she's like 12 steps away.
Oh,
and she on her phone, on Facebook.
Oh, well, never mind.
And we have critical, things that happen. We have rapids and code blues.
She been chilling over there.
We need to start some drips or someone to pull something, and we need the orders to be verified because it won't pop up, and then when you try to override it, it's just a pain in the butt.
Right.
So whenever the doctor's at bedside putting something in, and we're like, "Where's pharmacy? There's a rapid going on." Pharmacy, like, we looking out. We don't.
Where's pharmacy at?
Where's pharmacy? Pharmacy is nowhere to be found. So we walking down the hall. This girl keying on the phone and not looking at the computer. I'm like, girl, I know you hear this.
Rapid on your unit.
On your unit. And you over here keying. Oh, you need me to? Okay, well, I'm gonna mix it. So yeah, we had to like, man, my patient is dying.
Literally, like.
Can you do your click so I can pull this out of the Pyxis? Yeah. So gotta hold it.
It's even worse for you because you're like staring at her like, hello.
Yeah, but over the phone, sometimes you can't get them on the phone. One was like,
you be like, hello.
They don't care. They be at lunch break.
They be hanging up on you.
No, they at lunch break, and they have their phone where it's like do not disturb, where they can like sit in the and I'm like, what? I got the wrong number. No, this is her number. And then you can do like the texting, but like they. No, no, I need you to pick up that phone. I need to hear your voice.
Ma'am. Hello?
Yes, so.
I see that, so that's kind of cool that your pharmacy is actually on a unit, because that's kind of like, some units are like that and some aren't. So most of them aren't. So
that's very true.
When I floated to ER and stuff and pharmacy would be on like in the ER, I'd be like, cool, can you put this man in for me? Like, can you go ahead and verify that so I can pull it from the Pyxis? Can you do this? So it's nice walking up to them.
That's true.
But on the phone, I didn't have them hang up on me. Like, oh, hold on, let me connect you to this person. Hold on, let me connect you to this person. I'm like, girl.
I'm at lunch. I've heard that so much. I understand, because when I'm at lunch too.
Don't answer though.
When I'm at lunch, I'd be about that same.
No, that's how it needs to be. Like lunch, it needs to be precious.
But
like,
somebody needs to be covering your phone while
and that is facts because I still need what I need. Like anything can happen in a set of minutes. So I need my man now. Don't be hanging up on me. That'd be my thing. They be like, hold on, let me connect you. And then I call them back. Like, hey, I just called about this, and that. I'm like, well, what happened? Oh, I think we disconnected. Okay. I still need it.
Did we? Or did you really hang up?
I like this Pinot Grigio. This is
really good. Okay. I like.
Okay.
I give it a 9 out of 10.
This might be my new go-to. It's smooth.
It is.
Some Pinot Grigio I feel like have like a little bite or something. I don't know how to describe it other than that, but I like that one.
Me too. Highly recommend. Y'all should go out and get it.
So we like it, you guys. And it was only like $16. I think I got it from Total Wine, if I'm not mistaken. That's where I get most of my stuff from. So now we're going to get into our topic, which is going to be answering these questions. So for those who are watching on YouTube, I am going to put them on the screen so you guys can like read along with us. We're reading them as they appear on how they look. Like, this ain't proofread, and if it's misspelled, that ain't me. Like, and then for those listening, like I said, they not proofread, so I don't know. People just be talking, y'all know. So me and Elyse are going to alternate reading them, and then we're going to talk about it and share our advice. So the first one is, I need y'all advice. What's the best way to go about this? Schedule change without a heads up. So I've been a nurse for over 4 years, telemetry and step down. As of February 2022, I accepted a position as PACU nurse, fell in love with it. I contracted to 8 to 7:30 every 2 weeks, then switched to 12 to 10:30. So that's like a swing shift, huh? Mm-hmm. As a nurse who loves her day shift and sleep pattern, I was willing to adjust to a later shift in return for less stress of a job. Fast forward to April, I'm off orientation and a new schedule was posted for June. They switched my later schedule from 12 to 10:30 to 12:30 to 11 Granted, it's only a 30-minute difference, but that's not what we agreed to, nor do I want to stay later in the night. I'm just annoyed and spoke with the charge nurse. She said they need coverage from 10:30 to 11, and that's it. I live about 35 to 40 minutes away from the hospital. The earlier I get home, the better for me in my home life. Is there anything else I could say since I'm the new nurse on the block?
Ma'am. So, let's run this back a little bit because this kind of happened to me before.
Really?
So I was working in med-surg oncology, and it was we were towards the holidays. So, you know, the Christmas, the New Year's, and that's when everybody loves to call out, you know, or people are nowhere to be found. They have these random vacations, and, you know, you can't, if you want to deny people's PTO, you know, they go anyway. So some people were getting approved their PTO when we had no staff. So my manager thought it was, you know, since I used to be the person who always picked up, she volunteered me to pick up shit. Yeah, I didn't want to pick up. How do you volunteer me to pick up shit? I'll pick up when it's convenient for me.
I'm still stuck on the volunteer me to pick up a shift.
So let's get to the good part. So she, not only that I worked my 3 scheduled days that I picked because it's self-scheduled, she added an additional 2 days, and not only that, it wasn't even my holiday because my holiday was Thanksgiving that year. So I did my major, I did my minors.
Right.
She put me on for not only Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Wait,
That's 5 in 1 week. And then not only on top of that, she booked me for New Year's.
Wait, what?
New Year's Eve. You know.
Wait, so you're gonna make me work all the holidays?
Yes, and I was only off. There was 2 days because that was on the following week. It starts a new week because it was I think New Year's fell on a Monday that year. So Sunday, Monday, so I was off one day, then I started back again on another major holiday, and it had me work an additional day that I had actually, it was a wedding. It was Mary's wedding. Yeah, I was just like, oh no, I didn't sign up for this. So, you know, I politely I sent her one email so for documentation so that we have proof.
Right.
And I had a personal phone number. I was like, ma'am, you did not ask me
Why did you put me down for major holidays?
You didn't ask me to help you with
the staffing.
The staffing.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, you know what? I know you love money, so she was trying to be cute.
And
like,
I like my family. I like my family time too. And aside from me liking money, you didn't even ask me about it. You just put me down.
Yeah.
And on a holiday at that.
So she's like, well, do you think? Well, I mean, I've already posted it.
It doesn't matter.
This is her thing that got me. Well, the schedule's already public, so it's your shift. So
no, it's not.
And this is what maybe lost.
And I'm gonna call you every single day.
And she's like, you have to find coverage for those shifts.
I'm not finding.
I said coverage. So I was like,
oh no.
I said thank you for letting me know. So you know what I did? I called
That's
out
what I'm saying.
all those additional days, and
I'm calling in
with no repercussions because
you
I can fight that. If she wanted to write it, if she wanted to take it up, escalated that, I could have fought that because I didn't skip because you could see when you self-scheduled, it was somebody plugged in. There's no documentation. There's no proof that I wanted to work 5 days that week, especially on some major holidays. So.
Especially when you already fulfill your obligation for the holidays.
Yeah.
Y'all see what we be going through?
Some of these managers, they really do be trying. You be nice to them one time, they take it to the manager. Like, oh yeah, Lisa's picking up. Go ahead and
that's what.
Don't offer her no incentives, no anything. She'll do it anyway.
She'll do it right.
Nah.
So what we have to say with this nurse? So they changed her time like 30 minutes back, basically.
She need to call that manager. Because you didn't agree to that, maybe y'all could work something out. But for sure, communication would be your best, your best thing to do.
Yeah, and I think like even if they try to give her some pushback, which they really can't because that's not what y'all talked about, and that's not the contract you signed. I feel like you can appeal to them and say like, I was willing to do this, but I live this amount of time away from home. That's like a safety hazard type of thing. I don't feel comfortable driving home at that time. I already have my schedule in place. I have prior obligations, prior commitments, and things like that. You don't even have to do all of that. I'm just telling you could. You really could just keep it simple and be like, this is not what we agreed upon, and leave it at that. But you could also do the other thing that I said, but you definitely got to talk about it because like Elyse said, it's like if you go along with that and you don't say anything about it, they're just going to do something else that's similar to that.
You need to speak up because if you don't speak up, they're going to keep on doing it.
Taking advantage
and they're going to be like watching from the background like, look, that popcorn, so she going to do it? Oh, she going to do it, bet.
Yeah, they do anything that they can get away with, essentially. They'll do all sorts of things and like give you extra patience or give you harder patience, and it's not until the moment you say something about it, then they be like, oh, I didn't know that you weren't, I didn't know.
And being in a leadership role, it ultimately, if they don't have the staff, essentially, it's actually in their handbook, the manager has to come in.
Technically, yeah.
And
they don't like to do that.
They don't want to do that. They said they already work there five days a week.
Yeah, they don't like to do that.
They're not about to come in on their weekend.
Yeah, technically the managers are supposed to do that. And at one of my prior jobs, they actually did do that, which is what I did like about that job. I didn't like the facility, but I did like the leadership because the managers would come in and charge, and the charge nurses would work the floor. And that's really how it should be. I mean, y'all knew what you signed up for when you became that. Yeah. So if y'all short, that's just what it is.
So it's honestly ultimately for them to cover their own butt. Like, look, they don't want to come in for those additional hours or days. They care. They're going to put themselves first. I'm going to put me first, Lucius. That's what they do.
You're not obligated to do anything outside of your 312s if you're just a full-time nurse. That's it. Sushi hidden.
It really is. This is good.
I know y'all hear
you want to recommend this place?
What is it? Sushi Hana and Katie. I think it's considered Katie. It's good.
Let me see what the other question was.
So we actually have a mixed. We have some pan-fried goza, black forest roll. Then we have rock and roll. I forgot what this crunchy one is called. Might just be called a crunchy roll. And some type of, is this tuna or salmon? Can you tell?
So I see salmon, raw salmon here, shrimp,
Yeah, I think this is the salmon one. I think it's like a spicy salmon.
Imitation crab in this one.
They're good though. This is what I usually get from them.
Here. Yeah, everything looks good. Fire. Okay, next question. How do you all calm down after a code? I've been a nurse for 7 years and still having trouble relaxing for the rest of the shift. And feel like I'm very bossy during a code and no one has ever complained, but I still get in my own head about it.
That's me. I be yelling at people during codes. Cause people be like frozen or something. And it's like kind of like the shock value. Mm-hmm. You know, like people start panicking, so people slap them to get them to calm down. It's kind of like the same thing in the code. People are like running around. Like it's like chaos for a couple of seconds and then like how it's supposed to go like happens. Unless you're like on the more critical floor, I feel like they kind of jump into action a little bit quicker. And like ER and stuff like that. But I feel like for like med-surg floors, I feel like for a while people like it's like 10 seconds or something like that where people are like, what the hell is going on? Yeah. And did you feel the pulse? What's going on? Do we have to call the code blue, get the crash cart? And it's like ah! And so then you'll have like extra people in the room and they're just like standing there and it's like, what are you doing? Start compressions or somebody do something like let's get this code started. So I know I be yelling at people. I've yelled at people a couple times. I be like, cause doctors like yelling out orders and like obviously the people who are already doing the stuff like compressions and the meds and the timekeeping and stuff like that, they're already doing that. So if they're asking like, oh, can you hang a leader or something, go ahead and like open up that normal saline. You just standing there like either you participate and do something or you need to get out because you're in the way. So I know I be yelling at people. But as far as like relaxing for the rest of the shift, I think I just be on edge. Like I be lit because codes get like my adrenaline pumping. So I think I just be lit for most of the shift. I think it take me like a couple of hours to like actually like calm down. But it's kind of, I don't be like stressed. It's just more like heightened emotions, I guess is the best way to say it.
I feel like it just depends on the person, especially different aspects of what unit you're on. So, you know, me going from med-surg to an IMU ICU unit, it's completely two different environments. It's, you know, it's a team effort, first and foremost. Mm-hmm. If you're on a med-surg floor who hardly ever have, like, rapids or codes, and they have that one random one, everybody is, you know, running around like crazy, don't know what to do, don't know where to start. Mm-hmm. So, and then versus, you know, being on an IMU ICU, you know, everybody's like on it, starting labs, getting a new IV, you know, X, Y, and Z. But like, if you're coming from like you know, she said she has 7 years of experience. If she's coming from a unit who don't know how to support the before, during, and after, that kind of plays a part in it too. So
that's true.
Say, for instance, like when I was charging, I had one nurse who had a really bad code on a med-surg unit, and she was mentally just couldn't do anything at that very moment. So, you know, I took over her patients so she could go get her a little break. I mean, it wasn't
people don't do that, y'all. I'm just saying that.
They don't, but yeah, that's rare. I took over her patients so she can go to the break room to go have her little cry or whoever she needed to call, go drink some Starbucks so she can just regather yourself and to come back out because, you know, essentially you're here for your patients and you need to be there for them. It sucks. Sometimes you just have to put our feelings to the side, honestly, and just suck it up to get through it. But like I said, what Elyse said, that's not common. So don't think that all y'all charge nurses are going to do that. Yeah, everybody's not me. I'm not going to lie. But if someone does that, like, be like, kiss their feet. Because it doesn't happen a lot. Oh, you can ask. There's not a problem with asking. No, that is true. Now, they won't offer, but you can't ask. Because these older nurses, they for sure not go. Some of them are lazy. I ain't going to hold y'all. But you got to definitely ask. Because I've done that before. It wasn't a code, but I had a rapid in, like, CT. Mm-hmm. I was like, come on, seriously. But I'm more used to, like, rapids and codes because I work IMU a lot. So I'm like, all right, but why here though? I'm like, why? And I don't know these people. So like she said with the team, it's like
it's easy to do it with people you know, like talk to people and stuff. Like, I'm like, I don't know, none of y'all down here, ain't no nurses down here. It's like the imaging text. Like, what are we supposed to do? I'm like, call a rapid. I don't know how to call a rapid down there. I'm in TT. So, luckily, we were close to ER, so all the ER, like, we put them in the ER bay, and all the ER nurses came over, which was clutch. But, of course, I still had IMU patients on the unit while I'm dealing with all this. So, I had to call. And they're like, oh, that's you down there with the rapid? I'm like, yes. I'm like, please watch my people. So luckily I had a good team. Like, I had people, I ain't gonna say it's a good team. I had a select few people I knew I could trust.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Sometimes it ain't the whole team. Sometimes you got a couple of nurses on your unit that you know gonna hold you down. So I asked them, hey, can you watch out for my patients while I'm dealing with this? And then even when I got back, because it's a lot of work with codes and rapids with documentation and stuff like that, you got to go back and document everything. So I had my charge nurse, I think she asked me, did I need help or something? And normally I don't take it, but I did that day. I was like, I need to chart all what just happened, and it was really fast. So because then from ER, we transferred them directly to ICU. So that, it was just a lot going on in a short amount of time. So I was like, can you pass my meds for the other people? So like Elyse said, you definitely can ask. I don't think they go offer. I really don't. Like if they offer, like I said, kiss their feet. But ask and know like where you are at mentally to know that you need a break or you need help. Because I feel like sometimes we kind of try to power through stuff unnecessarily. But I mean, especially you got a free charge. You better use her.
Free charge, yeah.
If you got a free charge,
I was a free charge.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you got a free charge, you better, hey, can you help me do this? Can you go get this? Can you help me do this? Now, if they're not as free, okay, kind of be mindful what they got going on too, but they are there to help, so.
But I also worked on the unit with all of my co-workers. We were dang near like BFFs. So.
See, so that's helpful.
That plays a huge part in it.
Yeah, so I guess with the whole relaxing thing, I guess lean on your team, or those who you feel like you could trust. Ask your charge nurse for help. Take a minute like the other nurse did and go to the break room. Take you about 10 minutes. I don't know how long. Pull it together. I don't know. Because we still got to get through the rest of the shift, unfortunately.
It's still got 10 hours left in the shift, baby.
That'd be the worst part. The codes in the beginning of the shift. I just like, wow.
They always had shift change.
Why can't you have time when I'm about to head out? Like, in the beginning, it just sets you back the entire day. I'd be like, God dang, I'm playing catch up.
The ones that the end of shift either, they're not so good too. When you get that one patient from the ER right before shift change, you got to give a report about like you barely even know.
Yeah, I hate that.
And then like you go on the patient, y'all about to finish your handoff, y'all go and see the patient like, look at blood pressure.
That I'd be like, God dang.
But you know they looked at your monitor, yeah, that wasn't, when I got them, it wasn't like that, I promise.
I hate that too, but at least I'd be like, okay, I don't got to worry about all the rest of my people. Unless you're in the middle of a report and you still got to get a report on everybody else, I hate that. But it's just, I'm like, come on, it's so inconvenient. You can't happen when I have like,
or the labs just finally resulted that ER did like last minute before they even bring them up. They're like, oh yeah, let's draw these labs real quick.
That is what they
bring them up because that's what they that's exactly.
But I'd rather them do that than not to do them because I'm like, you knew these labs were due at 3. Why are you sent them up to me at 3:15 and you didn't
there was one that was supposed to start a heparin drip down there and they sent him. I'm like, oh,
that's a hazard.
The one time they brought them back, we didn't spike it, but you got look that IV right there draws back so you can get your PTT and you can.
Okay.
I was like the nerve.
So you want the patient to throw a clot in transit to the unit? That's what you want. Oh, okay.
You ER nurses.
Y'all gotta get it together.
We gotta get it together. We gonna tussle.
We gotta get it together. Because I'm like, I know y'all be tired, and I be tired too. I don't want to be doing half the crap I do at the same time. I'm like, what about the patient?
Give me some love. Dang.
Yeah, give me some love. And what about the patient? What if the patient threw a clot on the way to
my unit? Really?
Then who that's on? You? So we're going to get into our next question. So to my seasoned nurses who started in med-surg, what is the easiest way to transition into a different specialty? I should not be 2 years in and feeling burnt out. Welcome to nursing. No, med-surg at a level 1 trauma center will do it to you seriously. Starting your career at the peak of COVID will do it too. I'm ready to feel that twinkle in my Crocs again.
Well, I kind of did the same thing. I started out med-surg oncology, and I just, wanted a faster pace, change. So that's how I ended up doing cardiac, IMU, ICU. So just honestly applying, a lot of these hospitals also have fellowships. Once you get that 1 or 2 years, they have like a transition program where they'll teach you whether it's like cath lab, if you want to do critical care, if you want to do anything that's surgical. They have those programs.
L&D too.
Yeah, they have those programs, especially if you already have the experience. So it's not like a new grad program, but it is a lot of classes as well that you be at home on Zoom and a lot of tests again. But I didn't take the fellowship route. I just kind of just jumped in, and I still had the same support. I just didn't have all the additional like babysitting. Almost. So
I thought it's a good idea, especially if it's like med surg to L&D or like med surg to OR, something that's like completely foreign to do the fellowship. I feel like IMU and like, well, med surg to ICU, definitely you got to do that. I feel like IMU is kind of like, it's med surg, but it's like with a couple of extra different drugs we give and a little bit more, like our patients are like stable, unstable type of thing. So I think it's like a little, not completely like a transition. I feel like for you it's different because you went from oncology to like cardiac IMU. Because I feel like for me when I went from med surg to IMU, like I feel like I still had the same type of patient population. They were just like a little bit sicker.
But yeah, it's just different too because my hospital, they kind of break up specialties. So it's not really a truly like, there's one, like there is a med surg, but it's not like,
it's still specialized
because they still have a GI IMU. They still have
it's like very broken down. Like like this is where all the surgical GI patients go to, or these are the ortho. Like it's literally every system is kind of like broken down on the unit. Whereas where I was from initially, they was all mixed in there together. So that was to my benefit because I got to see a whole bunch of different stuff. So for me, it wasn't like a hard transition, but we still had to do like classes and like take modules and stuff like that, which is good because you just need to know. It's good to get extra education either which way. So I think that's the easiest way to transition. And then, I mean, it's kind of like starting from the beginning again, depending on how different your stuff is. So you just need to be patient with yourself, I guess, is the same thing. Because what you learn over there is like maybe like 10% might apply. Like your IVs or something.
Yeah, but one good thing for you is you're at a level 1 trauma center. So same as you get, the sickest patients. So feel good about yourself about that because not a lot of people are able to handle working at a level 1 trauma center.
That's hard.
I work in the medical center and we get these sickest out of the sickest patients and it's a lot. So, kudos to you and keep on pushing through for sure.
And honestly, with the whole burnout thing, like you feel like you definitely can be burned out at 2 years, especially with you starting in the middle of COVID. Like, that's like expected. I feel like we probably all experienced some type of burnout through all this mess we went through. Like, we all thought we was about to die. Like, so you need to give yourself a little bit of grace. I don't think it's necessarily like the years of experience. Sometimes it's what you went through in the years. So I don't think that you should not think that you can't be burnt out at 2 years or even 1 year. It really just depends on your environment, what's all going on. Because anybody can get burnt out even after a couple months.
Right. Especially if it's something you don't want to do. If you just pick a job, you get your foot in the door, you're going to make your time miserable there.
That's true.
Go for something that you actually love or you think you will love or something you actually wanted to pursue.
Like passionate about.
That's like what a lady starting out in med surg, but she really, really want to do NICU. You really, really need to be applying to NICU jobs because you're going to be really, really miserable trying to get through your 6 months to a year worth of experience before you can even apply again.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
Med surg, like them other, like especially the women stuff, completely different.
Yeah.
You don't, like I said, some of that stuff you might be able to use because now you critically think you are better at time management and stuff like that. But how you manage time in this area is going to be different than how you manage time in NICU or L&D and all those other places. Like even when I go from different med surg units, like my assessments are different. Because, like, the surgical sites and all this stuff, now you got drains. Like, all of this stuff is not the same. So, when people ask, like, should I do med surg first or should I go into my specialty? I say just go ahead and go into the specialty. You already know you're interested in it, so I don't really see the point. I feel like if you do med surg first and you don't necessarily know what specialty you want to go to, okay, that's one thing. But you already knowing, like, I want to be a peds nurse, but then you're dealing with these old people, is not the same. And some of the diseases in peds are the same, but a lot of them are not. It's like specialized to like children population. Same thing like with NICU and everything else. So y'all just do what y'all want to do. Don't let these people tell y'all you got to do this or that first. The only thing med-surg go do for you in them instances, if you go into another specialty, is learning how to do skills.
And time management.
And time management. But like I said, I feel like the time, like how I work in ER is not the same how I work on the med-surg floor. It is not the same as I work in IMU. Like, it's just different. So that's why I'm like, it does teach you that. And I guess puts you in, I don't want to say high-risk situations, but maybe if you experience a cold and stuff like that before, you kind of be like, okay, that's what it's supposed to look
Probably
like.
got your feet wet.
Yeah. But, like, as far as, like, knowing about the patient population and the disease processes and what comes with it and stuff, that's all you need to each unit. So, all right. So, our next one is, what was the quickest job you quit and how long? I guess they're trying to say, like, how long you was there for.
So I tried to test the waters with a different unit, just because, I know again, change of scenery.
I would say, I feel like you always testing the waters.
But I really love cardiac. That's where I should have been, or like, I like oncology too, but I tried to test the waters with neuro. Why? I don't know. I don't know why I did that. But I was miserable. I think I lasted 6 months doing neuro. I should have quit before that. I knew I wanted to quit at 3 months. Why did I say those extra 3 months? I don't know.
You just trying to suffer through it.
I suffered through it. I was miserable clocking in. I was miserable going. I was miserable. I was watching that clock. It just I wasn't excited about it. The brain stroke does not make me excited. The spinal drips that, they have there too, I was not excited. The pain,
Just wasn't for you.
It wasn't oncology pain. It's not the same. No,
they're not. And with neuro, you gotta be careful with pain because then it masks like the neurological symptoms and all that. Yeah. So it's different.
Not for me.
That's why I said every unit really is different. Like, look, it be little stuff. Like some of the generic stuff be the same, but some of it be like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. I really know now as a focal nurse. I'd be like, what is this? I'd be like, I don't know. They're alive, breathing. I'm like, I don't know about these little fine details. My quickest job. It would be my PRN. I guess I did. At one point in time, I had 2 jobs. I don't anymore, and I think it might have not been a year yet, or it might have just been a year before I quit. But I didn't plan to keep that job long term from the beginning anyway. It was just something I was doing to do.
Just to be doing it.
Right, because I knew I could make a lot of more money and all this other stuff. So I was just doing it. But it wasn't like something I was, like I had to do, you know what I'm saying? So after a while, I was just kind of like, why am I dealing with this? And I don't like this facility like that. And I have to work a lot harder here than I do at the other facilities. So I was like, the pay is nice. Oh, and that was really the thing. They started dropping their rates. That's what did it. So see,
you ain't gotta worry about me anymore.
See, that's what it was. I was willing to suffer through having like an extra patient to the nurse patient ratio for a good bit of change. But when they started dropping the rates to almost my hourly rate that I made at my job, my full-time job, I was like, oh no. Oh no, like I'm good. So I think mine was like a year. So
let's see what the next question is.
I encourage y'all, if y'all don't want to do something no more, go ahead and quit and find another job.
Facts. I think you did that one already. Okay, let's see.
We're on this long one.
Okay, so I think mine is out of order then. So this one says, say you have to work 36 hours a week and it can be broken down any way you want it. How do you, I don't know what's behind this. How do you make your schedule. So say if you have 36 hours a week, that's anybody's normal. I do 3 stat.
Yeah, I don't do that.
So I try my best to do them all 3 in a row. If anything, if I can't, because like if somebody already didn't pick those days, I would do 2 on, 1 day off, and then go back for the last day and then the rest of my week. But I like stacking my days because I'm always gone somewhere. Hence why I look sunburnt now. Because we always on the go. So when you stack, you don't have to use your PTO. So that's why I have a month and a half worth of PTO that's not used, because
I do like that. If I have to go somewhere, then I do stack my days, but honestly, it depends on the situation. So at nights, I used to always have them like more together, especially with the unit I worked on. Those people weren't going to leave. Like, the patient turnover rate wasn't quick. Now, this past unit I used to work on full time, them people was not staying. So you would have like a new patient load every time you go to work, and I don't like that. I do not like that, because then it's literally, I feel like the benefit of working 3 in a row is that you get the same patients and you know them already, so it kind of makes the day easier. But having new patients all the time, I was like, I don't like that. Plus, with the IMU, they were either going to ICU or coding, or something was always going on. So I was like, I need like a break in between that, or it ain't gonna go well.
Look, I like one and done. Like, look, if I had hot mess the day before, I want to take my hot mess the next day. And if I just absolutely can't take a patient, I have no problem telling the charge nurse.
They was all bad.
I refuse one of these patients. I refuse bed 21. Do not give me 21 tomorrow. If you do, I'm going to let you know I'm not taking 21.
Yeah, that's fair. But our situation was weird anyway, because like half the unit was IMU. And the other half was COVID. So it's like, which one you trying to deal with? And then it's just like I said, it was too much. And it was a lot of IMU, so it's like, okay, if you do the COVID, then you're going to get a higher nurse-patient ratio, and your patients might all transfer somewhere else during your shift, and you go get a new load tomorrow. So I was not interested. If I'm going somewhere, that's fine, but no, I'm good. So now I do
completely different.
Yeah, I used to kind of do the more stacked, but I was like, nah. That, like I said, if it was a more stable work thing, that's cool. But other than that, no, I don't like knowing new people. But what I was about to say, but now it's flow pool, it's different because I'm like traveling to different hospitals, so I don't know what I'm walking into. So with that, again, I need a break.
That's just like travel nursing.
In between. It's dang near like travel nurse. I feel like it's actually worse than travel nursing, because at least with travel nursing, you know you're going to be on that unit for majority of your time. They may float you because you're like the extended person or whatever based off of the census. But like with me, I'm like, I don't know what unit I'm going to at, like, until I walk there to staffing office. So like that, I'm like, no, I need a break in between to get my mind together, because who knows what's going to happen. A lot of the times it's good, but still it's just kind of like a switch. Like I'm going from ortho to like sniff to ER to psych, like that's like completely different worlds. So that's how I do mine. I do like the 2 on, 1 off, 1 on. Or I might do the 1 on, 2 off. Wait, 1 on, 1 off, 2 on. Sometimes I do that.
See, when I worked psych, I only did once a week. That was my PRN job. I could not do that.
Honestly,
a couple of days on. You had mentioned psych. When you said
psych,
I literally was like, oh Lord, like that. I just
so far my psych experience has been boring, and I'm okay with that. Don't do nothing on my shift. Stay over there and go to group.
Must be nice. No, I had PD psych, and them kids was crazy. Okay,
mine was like a adult. And they just went to group therapy for most of the shift, and then I gave them their Xanax or whatever. That was fine with me.
Yeah, you had an easy experience.
Yeah, I'm like, don't do nothing. Don't try to commit suicide. I'm like, we good today, right?
Them kids was so bad. I couldn't do it anymore.
Okay, so our next question is, I am halfway through my LPN RN bridge. Why do they call it LVN or LPN?
It just depends what state.
Oh, okay. We will be done in November. I remember this one now. A classmate lied on me and is now causing me to have a hostile school environment. because my other classmates are talking about me, ignoring me, etc. to be ugly. This person has gotten into it with several classmates and they are just taking her word for it without proper investigation. I now have to change classes and clinical groups because of this girl, and it's causing me slight emotional distress because I have to drive 4 hours one way to even get to school, and am no longer able to carpool because my schedule was switched. I travel too far and pay too much money for this drama. We have a no contact order because this lie has blown up and I already had to change classes during the week, so I thought it would be fair for her to have to change clinical groups since I already adjusted my class schedule. I have voiced my issues to the higher ups, and it seems that they are only worried about me making even more sacrifices based off of he said, she said. This classmate has been cheating and bragging about it, plus there is proof, but they are overlooking that. How should I handle this? Because now that I am defending myself, people are looking at me as the angry black girl, but I am being treated unfairly. I need help on what to do.
Okay, first of all, step one. Look, you're in nursing school. We don't have time for drama.
That's what I'm saying.
First of all, if they said whoever said something about you, I would not. Who cares? First of all, you got to have that mindset. So, what is the big goal?
Right.
First and foremost, are you trying to graduate or are you trying to make friends? Ooh, that part.
I think she said a word.
You're trying to start your career. You're trying to go to that next level.
Yeah.
She's in LVN school, going to RN school, or she's just in an LVN program. No, baby, you just started. You know.
She's in LVN going to RN.
Yeah, so you're trying to go to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
That drama out the window. You know, you're about to go into a hospital where you're gonna have the same. I'm not gonna say no bad words. Same women or men, because you have some male nurses that will start some drama. Mm-hmm. And you only there for 12 hours. You were here to take care of these patients. You ain't here to be BFFs or somebody said something mean about you and you trying to entertain it.
This is not high school.
We are not. We are grown.
I'm not understanding.
So first and foremost, you cannot be putting yourself in these situations where all this drama. And my second
lie? I want to know what the lie is.
I want to know, yeah, honestly, like,
what's the lie?
What's the lie?
I don't even know what the lie is.
I mean, honestly, if somebody was lying to me, I promise you I would not care. Oh,
because I'm like, what's important enough that it's like
you
like
little
that?
Girl, yeah, if you little girls are just like, talking down on my name, I promise you, I'm not going to see y'all after I graduate. So, you don't have to be my friend on Facebook or Instagram. So, that big step. So, don't involve yourself. And two, I understand your sacrifice, so you have to drive 45 minutes. I mean, no, I drove an hour.
No, 4 hours.
4? Girl, I mean, but you picked that school, didn't you?
That's the thing. I'm like, you picked that, so you got to take that L.
Did you pick that school, though? Oh, sorry. Look, I know y'all can hear me big loud, but you picked that school, though. Because I picked a school that was very far from where I was living, too. I drove an hour for classes and for clinicals. I did not complain because I picked. That was my situation.
Yeah, I did too. 4 hours is a lot. I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah, 4. That's excessive. At that point, you need to get a hotel.
No, I was just going to say that. You need to get a hotel and stay there and do all your things and then go back home or do something else. This is a lot going on here.
Yeah, temporary sacrifice.
That is true.
The greater outcome. So I understand you got to grind, but you're trying to graduate, so you got to do what you got to do, baby. You feel me?
What do you like think? Elyse. I'm actually really worse than Elyse. I really don't be caring, but I just be like, but why though? Like she said, we don't got time for this. Girl, we trying to pass.
Girl,
so that's why I need to know, what is the lie, because we grown.
This
so
OB class? Because that's what got me, it was OB. Girl, I'm trying to pass OB. I'm not worried about it.
Just trying to.
Becky said I cheated on.
But that's like.
Test 2?
What's the lie? That's why I was like, what's the lie? Like, is it you slept with somebody? Because who cares? You grown. But then I'm like, are you cheating? Okay, we all cheating. Now that's what I was like, what's the lie? What's going on? That's what I really want to know.
Look,
what's the lie?
If you ain't got no proof, I don't care. Like,
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Can you prove it? Oh, all right.
But honestly, we are adults, so I don't know. This is like really like elementary to me, because not even high school I was doing this sort of stuff. I mean, you'd say high school, but I'm just saying, like, this is kind of ridiculous. Classmates talking about me and ignoring ignoring me. You don't need none of them to
You don't need your classmates.
I'm like, it's cool to have friends and stuff like that, but at the same time, like Elyse said, like, what is your goal here? What are you trying to do with your life? You're just trying to graduate. So you only gonna be here, like she said, she's done in November. Like, you better start counting down the months.
Right.
And you worried about fairness and whatever, but obviously it's you, I guess, that want to get away from the girl. So they're making you do all the sacrifices. So either you deal with the girl and her messy drama and keep yourself the same, or you separate yourself and, you know.
And it's also a lesson, because when you get into the real world, when you start working at these hospitals, you're going to have that one nurse you're not going to like.
She should already have experienced that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you're going to have an older.
It's always going to be somebody.
It's going to be somebody you're not going to like. There's going to be someone who's going to lie. There's going to be someone that you're just not going to get along with. And guess what? You're going to have to deal with it, because guess what? You're not going to be able to just move around. You're going to have to adapt. You got to also think about what's more important. You're here for your patients.
Yeah, so I feel like you need to
a bigger reason.
I feel like you need to change your mentality, like on your purpose. That's one thing. I feel like, don't give these people energy, because I'm like, that's what they're looking for. They're like, oh, can I piss her off today? Like, ooh, look at her over there. She looks so sad. She ain't got no friends, blah, blah, blah. Like, keep your focus on what you're there for and what you came to do. And like I said, just change your mentality. I think you're still worried about the wrong things, because you worried about what's fair and what's not. And I mean, I understand that you think that she should change clinical groups since you already have to adjust your class schedule. But honestly, you probably the one that's pushing for stuff to change anyway, because you don't want to be around her. So just bite the bullet. And like Elyse said, you chose that school. I don't know why you chose that school. It was 4 hours away. Go ahead and get your Airbnb, or you get you a hotel and just stay out there until you finish, or something to alleviate the issue. I mean, I don't know if she got kids, or I don't know why. But you have to figure something out.
Somebody's watching them.
Yeah, I'd say you have to figure something out. So I don't know. I would start there too, to try to start alleviate some of the stress. Like, maybe you just need to stay out there until November, since now you having to like change stuff. I don't know.
Because some Hessies, that's coming up. You don't have time for that.
Now the whole angry black girl thing, I totally get that, because I'm like, I understand. But like, sometimes you have to, I'm learning, I have learned. You have to pick your fights. Like, is this really important? Is this going to matter in a couple of months? Is this going to matter after you graduate? Like, what is the point? Is it just like for you, like your ego? Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's definitely an ego thing. Because I've been that angry black girl at work, and I mean, they can be, ooh, the odds, but you deserved all this angriness that I'm giving you.
Yeah, because I'm like, some of it you just have to decide, like, how like, is it worth it?
Yeah, that too.
Like, I'm like, because some stuff is worth it and some stuff isn't. I mean, that's up to you.
Especially if it's about my patient, if the doctor's not listening, or the other nurse isn't doing, holding them accountable.
Or even with your situation.
I can be nice nasty. I'm like, oh, but Becky, you ain't leaving until you do X, Y, and Z, okay?
Or even
I don't care if you give us an attitude.
Or even with your situation with them playing with your schedule like that. Like I'm saying, some stuff is warranted. Like, and some stuff is like, oh, okay, you putting me in unsafe environments. Like, stuff like that is like, okay. But like, some stuff is not worth you, I feel like, giving energy to. So you just gotta figure out.
You don't have to cuss anyone out. You can be assertive.
No, I'm saying, you just gotta
put down.
You could, if you want to, you could just still say something and go like, I don't agree with me having to change all this, and this is what all I got going on. You can do that, but you can't expect people to do anything about it.
But they also got your degree, so you gotta
be careful with nursing school. Yeah, because some people are petty.
Kick you out.
I'm about to say some people are petty with nursing schools, so sometimes you just gotta keep your head down and get out of there.
Yeah, facts. Because that's what I did, and you talking about. I graduated with a class of 80 nurses. I had maybe like 2 friends out of that. Girl, take them 2 people and then keep it going. It probably just one now, keep it moving, And I don't work with not one of those nurses.
That's true.
So
some of them I have seen a lot of people I've worked with come back around, which is cool. But that's why you gotta be cool with their cordial. I'm like, you gotta be nice and be friends, but like, okay, hey. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't want to say they're not the ones giving you your job. They could later in life. I don't know, but still, I wouldn't worry about it, because they just doing what she said, and they probably don't even feel like that. So I wouldn't even give it energy, like I said.
Same. Okay, I saw 1, 2. I had it up. It was the green one. Oh. What are the biggest challenges you face as a nurse?
have a problem.
I see your facial expression for this one.
I have a problem with lackadaisical leadership. I don't like it. I have a problem with people where change can happen to make an environment better and like nobody's doing anything about it. I don't really like complacent people. So I have a problem with that because I feel like some areas in nursing just sucks and like there's not really much we can do about it. But I feel like the areas where we can make the situation better are like, I don't want to say easily digestible, but make it like more palatable, I guess you could say. Like, can we do that though? Like some stuff is just like simple stuff, and I think some stuff is like it's the little things that make us like, okay, it makes your work environment better. And I feel like with some leadership, when they don't do things like that, it kind of irritates me. For instance, you helping your nurse with her patients after a cold. That's like little stuff. Like how long are you really going to be helping these people, and how much help are they really going to need? Whereas this nurse is being alleviated for some minutes, so that she could get her mind ready to do the rest of her shift. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a small exchange in my opinion. So, I ain't having problems with that. Because I'd be like, why did you decide to become a manager if it's not to help us?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what managers are for, and charge nurses. Now, I understand that we all have our own things going on, but I feel like I said, little things, like even sometimes just offering to help make people feel better. Mm-hmm. Like you walking around, y'all look real busy today. Like it's like
because I had
you about to make me want to swing on you. Like you want to fight.
Who she don't care what is going on at the beginning of the shift. She don't care how many fires is on the unit. She gonna have her coffee and her biscuit that she get from Starbucks.
Oh yeah,
she gonna sit
and we run around and you doing that eat. And then I had one. She on her phone. She talking to her husband. We all out here running around. Like it's just like some stuff. I just be like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. So mine is also still leadership in that aspect too. I have some of the most sorriest. Trying to be appropriate. Charge nurses I've ever encountered. It's the laziness. Nobody's holding them accountable. They see that there's a lot going on, and when you look up, and if you want to go back to the handbook, what the charge nurses are here for, what they're supposed to be utilized for, but they're really just here just to collect the paycheck and making the assignment for night shift. That's literally what I've been seeing recently. The most recent. Not helping with the unit, booking beds, and not even realizing what's happening. What's happening outside your office, because the charge nurse has an office.
Oh, really?
What's happening outside of the office?
Yeah, like come out there and see what's going on and see
who has labs or who needs to be taking the MRI.
Yeah, like you could walk with a patient. For me, it'd be the free charge nurses. Yeah, I'd be like, what? Like, okay, in the medical center, some of them be having a full patient load.
See, that's different for me.
That's horrible. Honestly, I wouldn't even be no charge nurse.
Yeah. No, but I have my
free charges. The free charges is like, what are you doing? When I first started that previous staff job, I asked them because I'm really trying to find out. What do y'all do with your time? You got 12 hours you're here. You are not doing staffing and scheduling for the whole 12 hours. And even meetings, it's like a 1 hour meeting. Okay, that's what, 9 hours left? Let's just say each of them take an hour. Like, what are you doing?
They don't even be having that. We go to rounds together, all of us.
Yeah, that's true too. Like, and then you don't, like, I just don't understand. I don't like that. That's my issue. And then
pre-booking beds. I'm just like, you see that, we got to take this one to cath lab. Somebody has to pick them up. This is INU, ICU. It has to be an RN with these patients.
See, and that's how it was for us too.
Times.
The nurse is going to be off the unit to accompany the patient, like, and you nothing. Okay. I
had to be at pulmonary lab for an hour the other day, and I had that one specific charge nurse. Oh, your patient is calling. Ma'am, I'm at PF. I'm at.
Wait,
PF,
I just had a trigger.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm at pulmonary lab, right? She's like, oh, you are? You're still down there? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're going to have to go help that patient that's calling. Yeah.
She didn't
like that answer, but
that story I had just told y'all about my patient like having the rapid and CT, my charge nurse called me while I was down in ER and trying to tell me about one of my other patients. And I was like, I'm in a rapid right now. My patient's about to go to ICU. She was like, what? Really? I was like,
yeah, and they be just like mind blown, like, oh wow, I have to do something? Yes.
I don't understand.
Yes,
Shout out to the good charge nurses out there. Y'all are really appreciated. And we both have charged before, so we know what y'all have to go through, the good ones. But the bad ones, I be like, y'all ruining it.
I can't wait for y'all to retire.
No, really, just go ahead and go out. Because I'm like, you might as well not even be here at this point. Now, that particular charge nurse I was talking about, while we were talking about bad charge nurses, she'd leave the unit. Like, the hospital.
Yes, to go to Starbucks. She go to Starbucks more than she go on the unit.
I mean, like,
she would come with a brand new coffee, and it'd be like 4 o'clock. She's one of those people who can't live without coffee.
I mean, like, my brother's in town. I have to. I'm going to go have lunch with him. What?
Oh, they be gone.
I said, let's something happen to one of these patients on this unit while you gone. I'm telling on your ass. I'm a snitch. I don't care. I do not care. Don't do nothing around me. I'm a tell. Especially if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, baby, I will sing like a canary. On this date at this time, this charge nurse was going off this unit for this amount of time. She did not clock out.
See, I was big upset the other day.
I was singing.
So we have a high turnover because of the surgeries and stuff like that, or if it's something minor or major or whatever. She had to do my discharge paperwork because I was off the unit. I was in MRI, cardiac MRI. Mm-hmm. So I was down there for a minute. And she was so upset that she had to go do the discharge teaching. And normally we have a discharge nurse. It was just her. She wasn't here that day.
Yeah.
She had to actually do some work, so she had to print it out, teach about the new meds.
It's not even a lot, y'all.
It really honestly take 5 minutes.
It doesn't take a long time.
Like she huffed and puffed over. Well, how much longer are you going to be down there?
Indefinitely.
But, like, I don't work down here. I'm here to make sure this patient don't crash while I'm down here.
Right.
Like, unless you want to come trade spots with me, which I know you don't want to do that either. So.
Oh, see, and then that's the thing. You gotta ask them, like, okay, I can come up there and do that if you come down here. They don't want to do that.
They don't want to do that either. So she was so upset that she had to go get us because she wanted to book that bed with someone in ER who's
they be so quick to try to book a bed.
They want to book a bed.
Rush your discharges, but they don't want to help.
Yeah, so somebody who really, really needed the bed downstairs. So
you better discharge them then.
She was absolutely disturbed having to do that. Take out the IV. Look, had to tell her to take out the IV. But she didn't do a clot herself. She needed a heparin drip.
It was a heparin.
Because she didn't even want to do that either. Lord have mercy.
People, I don't know what's wrong with people.
I don't know what's wrong with people either. People these days are just ridiculous.
Okay, our next one is, after you visited so many genres, I don't know why they call it genres, but the specialties of nursing, which area did you decide on and why? I'm looking to change my area of nursing.
Like I said, I know I'm not doing neuro ever again in my life. There's nothing wrong with dipping and dabbing, especially if you're one of those nurses who started out and didn't know what they really, really wanted to do.
Yeah.
So if you still are in a unit that you feel like you aren't happy yet, or you're not like excited to go to work, or you're like happy there, at least during your unit, keep on finding something else. I think what else she had said.
They're just,
how do you find it? Keep going. I mean, keep on.
Yeah.
Who's going to stop you? You don't have to change whole facilities, but you can still stay at one hospital and go to different units, or do what Elyse does. She's in flow pool. I think one of my other friends, that's how she figured out that she had liked she's weird. She like GI stuff. She loved GI bleed. She likes all that kind of stuff. And, you know, our hospital like specializes there. Yeah. So she's like, I really like GI. I'm just like,
good for you,
good girl. Cause
GI's like all right, but like it, I don't know.
Yeah, she enjoyed the GI tract. She just
you can
all the surgeries
over there.
all the surgery. She found the skills that, it was actually something that she felt satisfied at it. She was good at it. Just like trach, she was good at trachs too. She liked
I'm good with respiratory, but I think I'm just used to it now from COVID, to be honest. Because anytime I have somebody dealing with respiratory, I'd be like, I got this.
That's just like somebody with like EKG strips. They were like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, girl, you got this card right here. Which one it looks like?
So my favorite specialty is IMU. I think it's like my perfect storm because I feel like med surg.
It's like medical IMU.
Yeah, because I feel like med surg is like too many people, and then they're not really sick to me sometimes because I'm like, it's like infection or something like that. And I'm like, okay, here's your antibiotic, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I don't want ICU because I'm like, I don't want people all tubed up and tied up and on all these drips, and then I'm trying to contact pharmacy, and I'm like, I'm good on all that.
See, it's a happy medium for
so I was to say I like IMU because it's right in the middle. I'm like, but that's why I said I had to get the breaks in between. Will you go to ICU? I don't know. Are we going to code today? I don't know. Are you going to go home? I don't know. Any of these things that happen is possible.
See, our IMU is like that too, where we have people who are tied up and people who may go home. Yeah. So I have the mixture of both, and then the drips, they can't go home on a drip.
Yeah, so I like that.
So we have that as well. So I mean, I like cardiac. I also like oncology. The only thing I did not like was neuro.
I still like the medical. I need some variety. I don't want like a specialized. Yeah,
I like my specialty.
It's cool, but I get bored very easily, which is part of the reason why I'm doing flow pool now, because I can't get bored doing flow pool. I get tired of driving and going to different units, but I'm like, I'm not gonna get bored like the work or whatever. But like with COVID, when I was taking care of the COVID people, I'm like, I already know what's gonna happen to you. It's gonna be one or two things. It's like the same thing day in and day out. Same thing like with strokes. Yeah. Because we used to be like stroke overflow. Okay, you already know a stroke is only a handful of things that's gonna happen. Right. This is a hemorrhagic stroke, and this is like I know it too much. Like I need something.
Medical skin. I wish it was just stroke. It was all kind of stuff.
Stuff like traumatic brain injuries, and like car accidents.
It was just not fun.
Yeah,
it was like ortho trauma. It was just like ortho trauma mixed with stroke.
Did you get like Guillain-Barré and all that?
Yeah, it was just not. I
had a patient that ended up having Guillain-Barré from COVID.
Oh, really?
That was interesting.
That's the actual thing. Like, they talk about it. Like,
I had one.
They talk about it. You see, the warning labels if you have it, but
it was crazy. I was like, what? Yeah, I was like, Because he didn't have it initially. He developed it when I had him, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. I sent him to ICU.
Interesting.
All right, so our next one, let's see. Okay, well, we can halfway answer this question because we ain't travelers, but it says, to nurses in acute care who are not working as travelers, what are the top 3 reasons you have remained at the bedside and with your current facility or company in a full-time or part-time position?
Okay, first and foremost, I almost did traveling. Almost. So, I mean, there's nothing against it. It's just more my life at home, because work is not my life. It would never be my life. I'm just not one of those people. I work so that I can maintain my lifestyle. I love being a nurse. Don't get me wrong, I love being a nurse, but my job isn't my life.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I didn't jump up, because I do have a husband, I do have a house. I have a son, I have 2 dogs, I have a life. I have vacations, I have friends. I have good friends at that. So, for what? I'm good. I make good money. Got a good husband. So, that's the only reason why I didn't do travel nursing. The second part of that question was, why did I stay at the hospital? I mean, I have a good lifestyle there. They work on my schedule. I can self-schedule. I can pick whatever day I want to be off.
Yeah.
So that's a good balance. I do plan on getting my master's, so they do have the tuition reimbursement. I know you can say that, but if you're a travel nurse, you can pay for it all at once and stuff. I'm like, but that's my money I want to keep.
That's fair.
The hospital will pay for your education, so keeping that part in my pocket. And And then I think it's a specialty. I mean, like I did and dad did a lot of specialties from LVN and RN, so I just kind of kept on until I figured out what I wanted to stay in. And I think it made me a little bit more versatile too. Like, yeah, I've had some experience here, yeah, experience there. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
So I heavily considered traveling before I did the float pool. But I don't think I ever really wanted to be like far away traveling. Like there's like local traveling and there's like traveling where you're going to like different states and you're wherever. And much like Elyse, I like my life. So I didn't really, and that's not to say that other people who travel don't like their life, but I have like a lot going on here. So I don't really want to remove myself from that to go somewhere else. And then I'm like, I don't know nobody out there. I have a thing with safety too. So I'm not trying to get snatched up. I'm not trying to be on guard all the time to make sure ain't nobody following me home, or you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'd be like on guard. Like I won't be at ease if I did that.
Especially not knowing anybody. I mean,
and I've never been there before. It would have been different if like maybe I traveled to somewhere else. I've lived here before. I've been here before, but I've not been like so I would just be like, what's this? What's going on? And I feel like I don't want to associate travel like working with vacationing. Like I want to go to those places on my own free time, and I know some people vacation while they work, but it's just like you signing on for more most of the time when you become a travel nurse because you're feeling the need. So most of the time you're working overtime hours all the time. And I'm not trying to get adjusted to a new environment, work all these hours, don't really know nobody out there, and like basically I guess put myself in an uncomfortable position. And I can make comparable money doing other things that are closer to home. Exactly. So I never considered like actual far traveling. And when I did, it was for like a crisis contract, and that's just a week. So I could do that for a week. But like months.
Take off for a week.
Yeah, so I'm like for months. No, I'm not interested in that. So I just wasn't interested. I was more so interested in local traveling because then I just go like a city over, like Dallas or somewhere. Like I'm cool with something like that, and I come home. It's like more easily to do both. In that situation, I would stack my schedule. Yeah. Just because it'll make it easier to come back and forth. But that would have been my next second. But there are jobs that have like high pay. Like float pool's one. If you work through an agency, that's one. So it's not necessary. Basically, all to say.
A lot of these jobs, too, you can if you try, you can actually push what you kind of want.
Yeah, I'm like, you can find a good paying job without actually having to travel.
Yeah, you can. It's actually out there.
Yeah, so it's not traveling is not the only option to make like a lot of money.
And then not have to pay 2 mortgages. That was my
thing. That was the thing too.
Having to pay rent. So like one of my friends, so she ended up switching. So her parents are from Chicago. She lives in Houston here with her husband. And she's doing a travel assignment in Chicago. She's going to come back. So her mom lives there. So she has that luxury of staying at her mom's house.
If it was something like that, I would consider it. Like, that's okay.
Yeah, but she had did one in somewhere on the East Coast where she had to pay for an Airbnb there. Airbnb rates, they have been taking advantage of travel nurses and
even with that monthly thing you do.
Yeah, so they're actually doubling up what it is. It's not like
they became hip to the game.
Yeah, so they've been finding because they asked you what your occupation is. So when you put nurse, it automatically gives
like you're making money, so I can charge
you whatever you want. And then even with these agencies who are giving you that little stipend for housing, it's actually went down, especially now.
Yeah, all the rates are like down.
So it's not even the same amount. So you're still making a lot. You're still making a gain, but you're also making a loss as well because you still got to pay this $2,000 hotel, especially wanting to have it for a nice area
and stuff like that. So it's a lot of hassle.
So like, say if you do one in Atlanta, there's good parts, there's bad parts, and you don't know nothing about it. They just charge you $2,000 in the hood, and you wouldn't know if it's the hood until you get there.
That's true.
So I mean, they'll do it.
Yeah, so, I think, and it's different too with the time and everything, because like we said, all the rates are down and stuff right now. So I don't feel like it's beneficial for you to be making sacrifices as to like not being able to be with your family and stuff like that, especially with the world being back open. I feel like when it was in the middle of the pandemic, that was a good time to do it because I feel like ain't nobody going nowhere anyway, so I mean,
see, but if monkeypox want to, take over. They don't want to triple these rates. I might go to San Antonio.
So I'm like, it's beneficial.
Maybe go to San Antonio for maybe a month. That's all you can get out of me.
It was beneficial back then, especially with me. Like, I was like, I'm working on the COVID unit, and I don't even want to, but I don't have a choice. And then those nurses up north are making like quadruple what I'm making doing the same thing down here. So I was like, I might as well go up there. So in that situation, like, that made sense to me. But now that everything's back open and all that other stuff, now it's kind of like it's not beneficial to me.
Especially nobody's scared of COVID no more.
But my top 3 reasons for like staying at my facility is like they're a good facility. One, I mean, that's hard to find, to be honest. It's not like you can tell what's good and bad real quick, especially when you move around some. Mm-hmm. So it's a good facility, and like Elyse had mentioned earlier in the episode, you can like go within units more easily, I feel like, than other facilities I've worked at. So if I'm interested in working somewhere else, it's not like as big of a deal. They'll be willing to try. Same thing like with the float pool, because all I did was tell my manager, hey, I'm interested in this, I'm looking to apply, and I applied and I got it. So it wasn't like a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And what else? I'm not leaving this facility. I just know that. Not unless I go do something else. But as far as looking for another hospital, like this has like the lowest nurse to patient ratio that I've seen out of the other ones. So I'm gonna be over here and it's like this. So I'm like, I'm not leaving. I'm good.
I'm good, love.
So I'm like, But the second part of that question that I didn't say, because we're not travelers, but it was basically just saying, to those who are traveling, what would it take for you to stop traveling and take a permanent position? And I think it's probably most of what we said, them finding a facility that they didn't like, and they can like make they pay something that they like. You know?
And see, if there was a facility that I would like stay at, kind of long term, would be one of these unionized states like California.
Yeah, but I'm
there. Yeah, they're treating their nurses very, very well.
Yeah, California is where it's at. Unfortunately, Texas will never be that.
Yeah, it's not.
And it's just not.
See, I have another friend doing a traveling assignment in Cali, and she living her best life. So kudos out to her.
All right, so we're gonna start to end this episode. So what we do before the end of each episode is we do scrub and sip. So basically, we scrub something that we don't like about nursing, or something that you've experienced in this past week that you don't like about nursing, and then we sip like cheers to like a celebratory moment that you had this week. So if you have anything, you could go first.
So a lot of that stuff was the charge nurse situation was actually this week. So
really?
Yeah. So one thing don't like about nursing is, some of these nurses not the accountability aspect. They're not holding themselves accountable, but also we're not holding them accountable. We're just letting them.
I say that a lot. They don't speak up. You got a problem, but you ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, so we're not holding them accountable. So we're just letting them get away with the shenanigans that they're doing, because how are they going to know that they need to change or give any constructive criticism if no one's correcting them?
Exactly. So, and if nobody's enforcing it. Because sometimes I've been in a situation where I'm telling the manager this is what's going on with this nurse, and they need some remediation or they need something. And then the manager's just like, okay. And it's like, all right, well, when they kill somebody, have fun.
Right.
So it's all of it. I don't know why it's not like that. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, so that's something that, that needs to be fixed. Another good thing is, I love my job. I might even get certified in cardiac. Keep playing. CB or CC, I don't know yet, so we'll see. I might do both. We'll see.
So this week I'm scrubbing. So I went to this community hospital, and was I working? No. Because I did a split schedule. I went to a community hospital, then I did medical center, and then I went back to community hospital. Okay, so my last shift, I think it was I went on the unit, and I had this patient that was being transferred to the medical center. So I don't know why did they give me this patient as a full pool nurse, but they gave me a patient with an unstable blood pressure. Mm-hmm. It was like I'm on a regular med surg unit, and their blood pressure's in the 70s. Mm-hmm. So they're like, transport's there, and I guess they were trying to give them to me because they weren't going to be there. They were supposed to be transferring. Like, transport was already there during shift change. Mm-hmm. So transport didn't want to take them because blood pressure is too low, of course. But they're like, that's why we're transferring them to medical center because they need a liver transplant. Mm-hmm. So I ended up having to take care of that patient for like a couple of hours because, like, to get the blood pressure up. But I was like, why would you give somebody you don't know this patient, like, as a charge nurse? If I was a charge, I would like, let me give it to, like, a vet or, like, somebody who's been on this unit before who has experience or is an experienced nurse or something like that. I was like, why would you give them to me?
On the transplant unit?
No.
So regular med surg
floor. So that's why I was a little bit more kind of like, what? Because it's like, this patient is not stable by y'all standards because they don't have IMU, it's a small hospital. Mm-hmm. I mean, y'all should put them in ICU, honestly, to be technical about it until they can go to the med center. Why are they sitting on this med surg floor? So that was one thing. And then two was like, why would you give them to me? You don't even know me.
Right.
Like, they don't know I got IMU experience. Like, so I'm just like, I mean, I took it because I was like...
They read your resume. They know.
Yeah. We made that assignment that morning. I took it because I do have experience with IMU, and I was like, I know it was just because, like, we gonna get them some albumin and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, that's fine. And then, like, my other load wasn't, like, crazy, so I just went ahead and took it because they were supposed to go soon anyway. But I was just like, on the other end, like, why would you give them to me?
Yeah.
So I was just like, that was stupid.
I feel you.
So I'm scrubbing that because I was like, what if I was somebody else? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the hell is this?
Facts.
76 over something. Mm-mm. And she wasn't really symptomatic, but she was like lethargic and stuff. But I'm like, technically speaking, why y'all keeping them on the med surg unit? Why not transfer them to ICU until they can go to the med center? Because they're unstable. But that ain't my business, so I'm not in bed management. I'm just saying.
Shit, so you would have escalated that real quickly if I was on med surg.
That was like, that's a med surg unit. They don't have no monitors.
Escalate. Just because I know to do IMU don't mean. Yeah, if they don't have monitors, that's the thing.
I have the vital sign machine in there, like, frequently going.
But that's not.
But it's not, technically that's not safe and that's not how it should be. Technically, since they don't have an IMU, they should have transferred them to the ICU. Yeah. And then from ICU, they should have went. But see what I said? The only reason why I took it is because I was like, they're about to be gone and I already know how to handle it. And I was like, I had them hooked up to the vital signs and I was like sitting right by the room. So I was like, it's fine. But I'm like, if that was anybody else, that shouldn't happen. Yeah. So I'm scrubbing that. And then I'm sipping to, actually that day I left at a good time. Lately with Flow Pool, I be having my stuff done by 6. So I can't believe. But that day, I left at the time that I normally leave at, which is 7:08. As soon as I could clock out, so I'm sipping to that because I haven't been having one lately. Lately, I've been leaving like at 7:30 and stuff like that. And I'm like, come on, like, I'm ready to go. Mm-hmm. So I'm sipping to that because I was like, finally, especially with the start, I ain't got nothing to sip to.
I don't have anything to sip to either.
I
have a little sip. Yeah, I have a sip.
Literally a sip?
Yeah, I have a sip in there.
I had nothing. So that means we like this wine, y'all. Yeah, so definitely check it out. Okay, so we're going to sip whatever y'all are celebrating to this week. Y'all go ahead and pour up a glass with us. Or if you got to drink water because you're at work, go ahead and do that. We're going to sip to the good parts about nursing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Go ahead and leave a comment down if you guys have anything to add to any of the advice we gave, or if y'all want to just simply comment. For those who are just listening, if you would like, you can head over to the Instagram page, Sips with Scrubs, and leave a comment there. We want to thank Elyse for coming again.
Thank you for having me.
Y'all will see her again as long as she decides to keep coming. Whatever that means. All right, so we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.